Hi there, I'm Ken Lammers, and welcome to Minor League Matters. Today we're just going to kind of do a weekly roundup of things that have caught my eye going on around in minor league sporting systems. And so, well, let's get cracking. Okay, so we're going to start out with, and we're going to do, um, we're going to run through soccer first. Actually, no, we're going to run through hockey first, and then soccer, and then what little baseball there is coming out. So let's start out with hockey. Going through the minor league hockey systems, and what tweets and emails and other stuff that I've gotten this week. The only real thing of kind of interest is that the Carolina Thunderbirds brought to the end of the Lake Huron Prowlers. They'd had like a 13 game winning streak, and the Carolina Thunderbirds beat them finally. So more power to the Thunderbirds. I'm supposed to be up there in a couple weeks, so I expect a really good game when I get there. Assuming there's no floods, famines, snow, anything that keeps me from coming, I will be there. But congratulations. So that's pretty much it for the hockey news. There wasn't a whole lot of other minor league hockey stuff that I really had to bring up. Let's go on to soccer. Now, I don't know if this is really within the last week or so, but I do want to congratulate the National Women's Soccer League, NWSL, for putting on a really good show for their draft. Now, they have the advantage over the MLS's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious draft because the NWSL draft kind of really means something. You're drafting people that are going to go to the NWSL, which is, the best female players in the world, really, because the U.S. has over time developed really good league or really good players, which leads to a pretty doggone good league. If you haven't watched the NWSL play, shame on you. It was on Lifetime last year, and I know if you're a guy, that probably means you never saw a single match. But check them out. It's good. Actually, I enjoyed watching them more than the MLS because, they don't flop as much. They just get up and keep playing. But this is a good draft. I mean, of course, the first pick, Andy Sullivan. It's a shame she wasn't there, and it was pretty obvious that she knew she was going to get drafted because there was already a video for her thanking the Washington Spirit for drafting her. That was a little bit put on, but still, it was pretty well put together. Unfortunately, the NWSL then turned around and it had bad news this last week. I've not seen an official announcement yet, right? But there are been a number of news articles talking about how the Boston Breakers are just done. They're an old school, been around for a while, maybe longer than any other female soccer team, and they apparently have closed up their doors. Apparently, there was a situation where their old ownership group was giving up the ghost. The league was supposed to kind of carry them through this year, and then next year they were supposed to get a new ownership group, and the new ownership group pulled out. But I've not seen any official announcements anywhere on the Boston Breakers site, on NWSL site, or anything. So I don't know what's going on right now. But like I said, there were news articles saying that the Breakers were done. Maybe there's some last-minute heroics going on trying to save them. And if there are, God bless those involved. Next, we get the Chicago Red Stars, and they published this picture with all the young ladies wearing these uniforms. If I was 25 years younger, they'd still be out of my class, but I'd be 25 years younger. I'd be good with that. Actually, this is a really good uniform. I like it. I mean, the blue stripes, or you see those a lot in different in soccer around the world. Um, Brighton comes to mind, but I like the red stars that come across the top as blue stripes fade up. I think this is a secondary jersey for them, uh, which is kind of a shame. This would look really good as a primary jersey, uh, but I do want to say that's a nice jersey. Furthermore, we get into MLS, and it's starting to look like there's some serious backpedaling going on with the Crew, right? The pre-court corporate raiders or soccer raiders apparently have lost their bid to get the place they wanted in Austin, where they fought hard to get some parkland that the city of Austin was not willing to give them, and so they've lost that. And there's also been talk in news articles about how they're exploring opening up ownership with local businesses, not just Precorp, which may be a prelude for him getting out entirely, which is probably going to be necessary. If he can't steal the team off to Austin, he's probably going to have to get out, because you can't get much more unpopular than trying to steal a team from the town that really apparently loves it to death. And after you do that, you don't really have a whole lot of room to maneuver. There's also reports that the head of MLS has also started backpedaling, talking about how they want to keep the Crew in Columbus, if at all possible. So this is a change in tone. I think that maybe they thought. I think that they've had a couple shocks, right? I think first they thought that if they bumped up Cincinnati, which they still have not done, but if they bumped up Cincinnati, then they'd be able to go, well, there's a team in Ohio, and did not realize that, if you're in Cincinnati, that's different from being in Columbus or Cleveland, right? Each of those have their own areas and fans, and never the twain shall meet. And when you pull the Crew out, that people from Columbus are not going to drive down to Cincinnati to watch a soccer match, right? So it's not, Cincinnati does not fulfill that zone. And I think they failed on that level, and I think they also underestimated how much the backlash would be, because they're not just getting backlash from Columbus as they're trying to walk away from the fans there. You're getting backlash from fans all across, MLS, including people who aren't really fans of MLS. I will be happy if the Crew stays, because if the Crew went, I'm pretty much never plan on going to another MLS match. This year, I already plan on going to watch the Fire Play in Chicago. But if the Crew was hijacked and taken off to Austin, I don't think I'm going to MLS anymore, and I won't be recommending it to anybody else. The USL does a really good job. Yes, I know the markets are smaller, but they do a really good job of what they do. And finally, on a little bit lighter note, if you are a fan of North Carolina FC or North Carolina Courage, which is male team in the USL, female team in NWSL, if you buy a year-long ticket, you will get a free beer as you walk into the stadium, apparently. So I'm not close enough, and it's about a 5-hour drive for me to get to North Carolina to watch, NCFC or the Courage. Although I plan on making, if I can do it, I'm going to try to make it for the Courage this year. Hopefully they will put their schedule online soon, so I can figure out if I'm going to be able to go watch them. But I don't think I'm going to qualify for the beer year thing, because I can't afford to travel five hours every week to go watch, or each way to go watch a soccer match. And in baseball, we get the Reds. There were two kind of things that went on in the Reds this week. First of all, Hunter Green called out Chad Dotson of Red Leg Nation. And I'll let you look that up. It's all on Twitter, and you see what that's all about. It's more in jest than anything else, but it's fun to look at. And second of all, the Reds have finally announced that they're going to take up Greenville in the Appalachian League Rookie League. Greenville, for the last 13 years, had been an Astros affiliate, and the Astros just walked away. And the Reds have swept in. I don't know how long the Reds will stay. The Reds have a history with minor league teams of coming and going a lot, with the exception of Billings. The Reds are going there. You'll notice here that the logo I made up to say what I thought might be the logo, which is on the right, is similar to, but not exactly the same as the logo the Reds came up with. Actually, I think mine, if it was rendered a little bit more professionally, would probably be a better logo than what they came up with. Guys, you could have just contacted me and said, hey, we'd like to use it. I wouldn't have had a problem. But, we all knew it was going to be some sort of variation off the C, make it into a G. That's probably the only thing that made sense. Mr. Redlegs with the coonskin cap, that's an interesting way to go. It's okay, I guess. I will be interested to see if they actually provide a mascot. They've had an Astros-style mascot for the last 3 years that I've been going down the Greenville, which is totally inappropriate for a Reds team. So hopefully they'll come up with a Mr. Reds mascot for them. I don't know, if they're going to go in and put a whole new organization in. Not a bad idea if they do. I mean, I can tell you, while it is a beautiful stadium, a really nice place to watch, people running it were pretty doggone lackadaisical. I mean, they put on events, but the way it ran was kind of lackadaisical, and hopefully it'll step up a little bit now. I'm going to go anyway. As soon as they put up doggone website, I'm probably going to buy season tickets, but it's still the Greenville Astros website up. Heck, on the Appalachian League's website, they've still got the Greenville Astros symbol up there instead of the Greenville Reds. Somebody fix this. I'd like to buy tickets. I'd like to, heck, if you start selling the stuff, I probably would buy a Greenville Reds hat in about 5 seconds flat. Fix it. Put it up. Let me have a chance. And I think there's a fair number of Reds fans out here you'll find. Moving on. Outside of affiliated baseball, we get the Winnipeg Goldeyes in the American Association have apparently finally gotten their rings for winning their championship last year. And here we have a gentleman down in South Alabama who has got his ring and is proudly displaying it. Looks like a pretty decent ring, actually. So more power to him. Congrats. And also in the American Association, we get reports from the Chicago Dogs that their stadium is coming along, and they have now they apparently got the scoreboard up. Which, if they've got the scoreboard up, I'm hopeful that means they've got most of the stadium put together, right? I plan on going to see them this summer as part of my baseball trip, and which is going to be like mainly around the Chicago area, with a side trip up into Milwaukee and that area to see the 3 teams up there. And so good news, I hope. You always worry about whether a stadium's going to be built in time, but good news, I hope. It looks like it's getting along. And on that not so thrilling bit, it's interesting to me, and but on that not so thrilling bit, if you got any comments, leave them below. As I always say, I promise I'll try to read them. I don't promise I'll write anything back because, day job and all. Got to work the job that actually pays me money. And if you like this particular post, hit like. If you like what you're seeing around here generally, hit subscribe and then watch everything 9 million times because that's about the only way I'm going to get any money out of YouTube, really. I'm not going to start asking for Patreon stuff until I get to at least 500 maybe subscribers. We'll see if I ever get there. And with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with one bit of important advice. Go watch some minor league sports. And I'll see you next time.